AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
I'm Rick Smith, and this is Labor History in 2. On this day in labor history, the year was 1947. And if you tried to make a telephone call that day, you might have been out of luck. During that time, telephone calls were connected by operators. 95% of the operators were women. The National Federation of Telephone Workers called for a strike against AT&T. The strike was one of the largest work actions by a majority female workforce in U.S. history. More than 300,000 women took off their headsets and walked off the job. Telephone service disruptions were widespread. According to the New York Times, the demands of the workers included a $12 per week raise. The union wanted to negotiate a nationwide wage scale. The workers also wanted a guaranteed pension minimum and more vacation time. The slogan for the strike was, "The voice with a smile is gone for a while." A while turned out to be a month. As the strike wore on, newspapers decried interruptions to the telephone service. The day after the strike began, the New York Times editorial wondered, quote, whether essential public services should be subject to interruption by work stoppages growing out of labor disputes. In the end, the union did not win a national wage scale, and the wages continued to be settled at the local level. The next year, the National Federation of Telephone Workers had reorganized to form the Communication Workers of America as part of the CIO. Although the strike was largely not successful, it showed the potential power of women in the workforce.
Operator, but could you help me place this call? I can't read the number that you just gave me.
Labor History in 2 brought to you by the Illinois Labor History Society and The Rick Smith Show. For more information, go to laborhistoryin2.com.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude,
How's the temperature?
it's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
Sup?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think you would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. April is National Pet Month, and if you have furry, fluffy friends, you know they're not always careful about where they do their business. Plus, warmer weather is on the way, and that means they will be shedding that winter coat all over the carpets. But whether you're a pet owner or not, make sure to take advantage of Zero Res Showering April savings on you before the May flowers and the May Pet Fluff showering on your carpets not far behind. Get 3 rooms Zero Resified from the Twin Cities #1 carpet cleaner starting at just $129, and take $75 off your air duct cleaning this month to take care of pet dander and last year's pollen and other irritants before this year's flowers bloom. That's 3 rooms of the best clean you can buy for $129 and $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call 952-ZERO-RES or book your appointment at ZeroResMinnesota.com today. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, this is Chad from AM 950. Snap Construction is arguably the most well-reviewed,
roofing, siding, window, and insulation contractor in the Metro. Ryan is so excited about working with AM 950 and our listeners that he wants to help us grow.
This is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. I was friends with Chad long before I started marketing with him. I was a bit skeptical of radio advertising before Chad convinced us to run ads. The advertising's been so successful, we want to help the station grow. We've absolutely loved working with the listeners of AM 950, and we all know how extremely important this radio station is to the community. To help AM 950 grow, Snap Construction will be putting up proceeds to assist the station in marketing on social media. Snap Construction encourages you to follow, engage, share, and interact on the AM 950 social media platforms. Together, we can all work to ensure AM 950 continues to thrive and grow in our communities. We stand by our work with a lifetime craftsmanship guarantee. For a free estimate or more information on our financing, call 612-333-SNAP or check us out online.
So, who's going to do what? Flashlights?
Nowhere to be found.
Emergency supply kits?
Not packed.
What about blankets?
We have an old towel.
Cell phones?
May not work.
Emergency water?
Not a drop.
Perfect. We all know where we're meeting if we're separated.
The library. On Jones' house. The bus stop.
And I'll be waiting here wondering where you all are. Great. It sounds like we don't have a plan.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Good morning, and welcome to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter. I'm glad you've made the connection and are with us today. I'm Lori Fitz, your host, and the goal of our show is to explore a wide range of topics that challenge us to see ourselves, our community, and the world around us in ways that get us thinking, get us connected, and perhaps inspired or challenged to do just a bit more because we made the connection. So I've got exciting news. Our topic today is the St. Paul Art Crawl. The spring art crawl is back, and we are thrilled to be able to support it again this year. And I recently found out that this is 50 years in the making of the St. Paul Art Crawls, and we're delighted to have one of the oldest, if not the oldest, art crawl in our state. It's being done a little bit differently this year. Instead of one weekend where you scramble to try and hit everything that you possibly can, we're going to be stretching it out a bit so that there's more of a leisurely way to embrace and see more of all the art. It starts April 14th through the 16th. Then the next weekend, the 21st to the 23rd, goes to 28th through the 30th, and then May 5th through the 7th. To learn more information about this event, you can go to stpaulartcollective.org. When you land on that page, you'll see that there's events, the art crawl events, and check out the spring event. So as we love to do, we have a variety of people who are supporters, who are artists, who are leaders in the art crawl. We have Caleb Van Diemen. Welcome, Caleb.
Hello there.
Glad you're here. Jill Asford.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
We're delighted. Thanks for being here. Mary Beth Garrigan is back.
Hey, it's great to be back.
Love to see you. And Jim Jacobson.
Hi there.
So tell me what you love about the art crawl. We'll start with Caleb.
Yeah, so I'm a recent transplant here to the Twin Cities. I'm from Indianapolis. I moved here with my wife, but I had never heard of the art crawl. I'd been here for 5 years and I'd never heard of the art crawl. But my business, I was in the Northern Warehouse, which is mostly an artist loft there across from the CHS Field in Lower Town. And that's when I first discovered it, that I'd be coming, right through my
You
my
are the
front
art
door.
crawl.
Yeah.
You crawl through the art crawl.
Yep, I was right on the main path, right? And I actually participated in that first art crawl, but I just had so much fun, and I thought it was just so incredible seeing the wide variety of artists, and just to be able to explore so much different work and all these different venues. It was so cool. So that's why I've been involved ever since.
And you're on the board.
I am, yes.
And we'll come back to hear more about the board. Mary Beth, tell me what you love about it.
I love the fact, this is going to be probably my 9th year being an artist in the art crawl. And I'm really excited about this year because of the fact that we have multiple weekends, and it really gives me as an artist a chance to connect with other artists. Instead of just one weekend, I can actually be at multiple locations and see other artworks, and it's really it'll be just a lot of fun, I think, this year. So
You're always fun, but particularly fun so that you were able to connect with other artists is fabulous. Jim, tell me why you love the art crawl.
Well, so I really like art, and I'm at least ambivalent about crawling, but but really it's partially what Mary Beth said, but also that I think one appreciates any art that one has in one's life much more if one has had the opportunity to meet and connect with the artist. It's really exciting to see them in their space, see their process sometimes, and just meet the people.
Absolutely. And you're a co-owner of the Grand Hand Gallery.
Right. That's correct. Commercial Art Gallery, St. Paul.
And we have Jill Asfer. And Jill, you have a unique concept with an Airbnb that features art. Tell me why you love the art crawl, the St. Paul Art Crawl.
Yeah, so this will be our second year participating in the art crawl. Last year was just so fun seeing all the artists coming in and talking with everyone from the community and all the connections that were made. We just had a ton of fun. So I hope people come out and enjoy the nice spring weather and meet new and interesting people.
And maybe buy some art.
Of course.
And look at places to stay.
Yes.
You have an opportunity to stay. You have an Airbnb, so people have the opportunity to stay sort of in an art gallery.
Yes.
And then they can choose if they would like to buy any of that art, which I think is
They
very
sure
cool.
can.
Very, very cool. So Caleb, tell me about the decision to move from the 1 weekend to the 4 weekends and how that's going in your preparation. I know it's a little different than the preparations that you've had in the past.
Yeah, so that decision was actually made, right before I had joined the board, but it's really just about spreading it out a little bit more, allowing for more venues to participate, and trying to expand the crawl to a wider community outside of just the Lower Town area. There's all sorts of great, talented artists and venues around the cities, and just making it more accessible for people in the different neighborhoods that. They can walk, they can bike, they can get to these other venues a lot more easily, and they can get to all of the venues if they really they endeavor to do so. There's a lot of art to see, but there's all that you would want to see.
COVID hit hard, and it hit hard on the artists, and it hit hard on the art crawl. It feels like there's a reinvention going on, and yet an honoring of the past in terms of this has been a mainstay in St. Paul for 50 years.
Yeah, it's really a very special, just cultural gym and a part of the community. But we certainly were severely impacted by COVID and the sudden loss of our executive director with SPAC at around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a really difficult point for SPAC, with as long and deep a legacy as it has. All of that really came to not a halt, but a massive slowdown, and momentum was stalled in a big way. So with over these last 12 months, 24 months, SPAC has really been rebuilding and trying to figure out how do we reinvent and bring back that energy and try to maintain the legacy and keep this worthwhile cultural gym. Keep it going.
And for our listening audience, SPAC is St. Paul Art Collective. Just in case you're wondering, what's this SPAC thing?
Yeah, and that's confusing because it's St. Paul Art Crawl, St. Paul Art Collective. SPAC can mean both, but yeah, St. Paul Art Collective.
What's your hope for this year?
I hope that we have a lot of new people that get out and experience some of the different venues, around the cities, that they get to see. How much fun it is, and that it's accessible and enjoyable, even if you don't consider yourself an art aficionado or a real art fan. And I think just to really build that momentum so we can keep, expanding the reach of our artists into the community.
And could you go through the various venues that for each week? We have April 14th through the 16th. Which community is being featured for that?
So this will be the West Side and Cathedral Hill and the Summit Grand districts. So we have the FOK studio, which is on Water Street over across the river. We have in the Cathedral Hill district, we have House of Heart with Jill over here. We have Virginia Street Church. They've done a really neat little gallery in the church for a number of years. The Milligan Studio, they're on Selby Avenue. And then the Grand Hand Gallery,
who we have represented here today as well. Yay. And April 21st and the 23rd.
So we have two districts that are participating that weekend. We have the Friedley Gallery on West 7th, the Schmidt Artists Lofts, Schmidt Artists on West 7th as well. Then in Raymond Station, we have the Bindery Building on Vandalia Street, the Dow Art Gallery and Framing on University Avenue. We have Paul Gaston's Pottery Studio and Gallery and Kayla Vandenam on Wycliffe Street.
And then April 28th through the 30th.
Yeah, that's going to be a busy weekend. A lot of districts there. So we've got the downtown and the historic Lower Town. Of course, that's where the art crawl started. So
there's a lot of heart there.
There's a lot of heart. There's a lot of participation, and that's a great tradition of Lower Town. But we've got the George Latimer Public Library. We have the Lower Town Lofts Artist Cooperative, Union Depot, Northern Bell Tattoo. That's a really interesting gallery. I think will be fun to check out.
And we'll be featuring them next week.
Oh, you will?
On the radio show. Yep.
That's right. And we've got Creator Space, which is a neat, a neat concept there in Lower Town. We have Mary's Pence Gallery, Master Framers, Calendula Gallery, which is a new gallery I was just in this weekend. That's a super neat place. The Art of Counseling, the Lost Fox, and the Lower Town Underground Artist, the Lua Gallery, and the Northern Warehouse.
So end of April is going to be a big one.
It's a big one. Luckily, those are all pretty condensed, so you can pop around. But you can make a full day of it. You can make 2 full days of it.
And that the last weekend is May 5th through the 7th.
Yes, and we've got 3 different districts: Miriam Park, Payne Phelan, and South Como participating. Then we've got the Spatial Effects Gallery on Selby Avenue. We've got art at 967 Payne, Front Avenue Pottery, and Mark Granlund Studio.
So are you going to go to everything?
I think
putting the pressure on now.
I aspire to. In the past years, I've taken my daughters with me, and so that's a challenge. Seeing what their attention span is. They love it, but they love it only for so long. So I'm going to try to get to every district.
And it brings up a good point. I love it when people do bring their children.
Mm-hmm.
The earlier that you can expose children to art and the playfulness and getting to know artists, I think gives them a whole window of the world that's important. I still remember as a little girl, a friend of the family taking me to a museum when I was like 5 years old, and I was just fascinated. Whenever you can inspire that, I think that is so important.
Absolutely. And the neat thing, compared to a museum taking kids, it's a lot less formal.
Yes.
They can run, they can play. Of course, you still can't touch anything, but it's a lot of different. There's a lot of action, a lot of change of scenery, and that's really makes it more enjoyable for kids.
So if you know kids that you can bring, if you've got your own kids, if you've got grandkids, if you've got nieces or nephews, it's going to be a fun time, and it's going to be several weekends to go out and do something. And after COVID, I think we're all wanting to go out and do something and be active in the community. So thank you for bringing us your perspective of being on the board and your leadership and all the good things that are coming up. For more information, if you'd like to be able to take a look, if you haven't memorized everything that Caleb just said, it is written for you in the St. Paul Art Collective.org, and we'll continue our conversations about the great St. Paul Art Crawl, and put that on your calendar. Put it on the calendar for the 14th through the 16th, all the way through May 5th and 7th, that you'll have something fun to do every weekend for the next few. We'll be right back after a few commercial announcements.
New at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Kuma wood stoves and fireplace inserts. American-made, sturdy and efficient wood heaters. All models qualify for 30% tax credit you can earn for installing efficient and renewable wood heat. Come see the new wood-burning Kuma stoves and fireplace inserts.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has been selling wood-burning products since 1977. Kuma wood burners are hard-working home heaters made from heavy laser-cut steel. Kuma stoves and fireplace inserts have cast iron doors and large self-cleaning glass windows. You can see the firelight and feel the heat from their efficient fire. One of Woodland's many choices to make fire work for you and your home.
We're with the chimney and installation experts. They not only install, but will guide you if you want to install yourself. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood, gas, and electric units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services.
This is New Beginnings, hosted by award-winning broadcaster and speaker Freddie Bell.
Freddie, this generation of the baby boomers, people are living longer, so the baby boomers are taking care of elderly parents.
Let's talk about your health, and specifically, let's talk about Medicare. Our show features the concerns of America's 78 million baby boomers in employment, finance, health and nutrition, and even entertainment.
Join us for New Beginnings, Saturday mornings at 11, brought to you in part by Vision Loss Resources.
The St. Paul Art Collective is thrilled to announce the return of the St. Paul Art Crawl this spring. And new for 2023, the St. Paul Art Crawl will now span 4 weekends from April 14th through May 7th. The St. Paul Art Crawl will feature different districts each weekend, so you will have more opportunities to see more artists and performances. The event will showcase the work of local artists from 10 distinct art districts in St. Paul. This year's crawl promises to be bigger and better than ever, with 26 different venues hosting hundreds of talented artists, live music, dance, and delicious local food. As the longest-running art crawl in the United States, the St. Paul Art Crawl is an iconic event for art lovers and collectors alike. You can explore the city's diverse neighborhoods and experience the unique creative visions of each artist. So wander the St. Paul Art Crawl and discover the wonder of it all. That's 4 weekends spanning April 14th through May 7th. For more information about the Spring Art Crawl and how to donate, visit stpaulartcollective.org.
Hey, Twin Cities, Latunji with Latunji's Palette Bakery and Cafe, located at 1400 Park Avenue South in the Elliott Park community. We invite you to discover the best peach cobbler, coffee, soups, salads, and sandwiches in the Twin Cities. And also, you can find my delectable treats at North Market Grocery Store, Annex Farmers Market, Plant-Based Pop-Up, Bobby and Steve's, Handsome Hog, and our website, latunjispalette.com. That's latunjispalette.com.
Welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter. We also talk about events that matter. And we've got the St. Paul Art Crawl event coming up in 4 weekends. We celebrated the 14th through the 16th of April, then the 21st through the 23rd, the 28th to the 30th, and then the first weekend in May, May 5th through the 7th. It's back. And all of us art lovers are terribly excited to be able to support it once more time. And found out that it's 50 years. 50 years. We've got one of the oldest commitment to community celebration of art in the country that we should be very proud of. And if for no other reason, come down and celebrate that very thing. It's going to be fun. If you just heard the commercial, it's going to be great time with good food, good people, performances, art, talking with artists. And then when you invest in art, you're really investing in the community as well. And keeping those artists being able to do and continue to do the wonderful art that they do and be able to share it in our home or office or gifts to others. So be thinking about this. This is a great opportunity in so many ways. So I've got some leaders from the Art Crawl that are joining us today. We have the St. Paul Art Collective board member, Caleb Van Diemen, who shared more about the event last segment. Why do you love the event, Caleb?
I love that you get to see so many different artists. You know, I love museums. I love galleries that you get to see. You know, the cream of the crop, the perfectly curated sets of work. But I love seeing a range. You know, because you see a Guggenheim Fellowship winner in one room, and then you go to the next room and you see someone who's been at it a few years, and you can see the progression of their work, or just starting, or just admitting that they're artists. I think that's a great breakthrough to let go. No, I am an artist. Yeah, you get to see the whole process. You know what really goes into being an artist. I love that.
Mary Beth, you've been doing this for 9 years. What do you love?
I just love connecting with people who support art and and also the other artists. It just gives you a chance to get your art out there. But then if you have it in a gallery, you don't always get to see who comes to see it.
Yeah.
But now you have people come in and you talk to them and they answer questions. And I'm always open to that. So I really enjoy that part of it.
And Mary Beth Kerrigan is an artist, but she's also the leader at the Schmidt House.
Schmidt Artist Lofts. Yep.
Schmidt
Say that
Artist
10
Loft.
times
There we
fast.
go. In the old Schmidt
The old
brewery. And it's a beautiful location to just go have fun that day and splash around with the Schmidt artists. We have Jim Jacobson from the Grand Hand Gallery, co-owner.
Yeah, and so the thing I love about the art crawl is the opportunity to ask artists things. Maybe it's some kind of personality defect where I like learning things all the time, and so asking them things about specific pieces of art or about their process, it's a gold mine of opportunity to learn more about anything, really.
Yeah, and we brought it up in the last segment too, how nice it is when you do buy a piece to have that relationship with the artist.
It's wonderful.
Because you have, I think, a deeper connection, deeper sense of an art piece being shared. And we have Jill Asfer. Jill, you have a very unique concept of an Airbnb that's also a gallery that people can be in a gallery. And then if they are moved by a piece, they are able to buy it. So what do you love about the art crawl?
I love that I get to invite people in and experience the amazing 27 local artists that we have in the house. I love hosting everybody. We have refreshments and just it's a party. It's a fun time to come out and experience local art.
How did this idea first come to you?
You know, I was trying to think of a unique situation for the Airbnb, and I knew I wanted to include art, but that was not in the budget. And with the vibrant art community, I just thought I would send an email to SPAC, or the St. Paul Art Collective, and at the time, the president sent my email on to all of the artists, and within a couple of days, I had 30 artists who contacted me. So I thought, hey, this could work. Then I invited 25 artists one weekend, met everybody, and it was just an amazing, magical weekend. Everyone was as excited and enthusiastic as I was, and I knew that it could work. And here we are.
It's a magical concept, and the nice thing about it is you could come back, a couple months or a year later, and there's all new art.
Correct.
Right. So it's an evolving support of art that allows you to connect with new artists as well.
Yes.
Now, you also sometimes send folks over to do tours of the Schmidt.
Well, I have actually Jill invited myself and another artist at the Schmidt to have a couple rooms. So I'm in the dining room and Petra is in the living room with our art. And but she'll often have visitors that are staying in the house and they can call us, and we've given tours. They've come over and visited the Schmidt. It's kind of like a thing to do and see other artists, and so it's a lot of fun.
Tell me about the people that like to come and stay at your place.
We have a wide variety of people who come for many different reasons. A lot of times people are artists themselves or just enjoy the arts. People come for family reunions, weddings, graduations, and just to celebrate and be with one another. And like Mary Beth was saying, we have just so many art galleries and studios around St. Paul. So even if you came and stayed, you can walk up to the Grand Hand, is half a mile away, and Virginia Street Church. So there's lots of opportunity right in the neighborhood with the house.
And what would you say would be? Can you give me an example of how someone who stayed there connected with an art piece, and then did they have that chance to also connect with the artist, or just a story about the artist, the art that they fell in love with and had to have at your place?
Yeah, so we've had husbands who have bought pieces that for their spouse over an anniversary celebration. We've had a couple parents buy their daughter or son a piece over their wedding weekend. So I think people just connect with the art because they're having a celebration or a special time with family or friends, and buying a piece of the art is part of, remembering their special time in St. Paul. And
it's also very unique. I mean, it's not something you can go down and order off of Amazon.
One of a kind.
This is exactly. It's an expression of an artist's vision, and what better way to mark a ceremony or mark a special occasion than to have a piece of a vision be given to you.
Right.
Well, I am looking forward to coming down and seeing your Airbnb, and then being able to tell my friends when they come visit to make sure that they stay. You have you said a good number that are Minnesota, but you also have quite a few coming out of state that stay there.
I do have quite a few people who come from out of state. And we have the 27 local artists.
And Ladies' Night was not too long ago. So I wrote that one down. Yes. That might be a really fun weekend. Yes. Ladies' Night in the Heart. And you call your B&B House of Heart.
Yes.
With emphasis of art in the word heart. So we have more to come. We have more great stories to tell and more great things to share about our terrific St. Paul art crawl. So stay with us. We'll be right back after just a few commercials and learn more about Mary Beth Garrigan's art. So stay tuned.
Bill Maher.
Every year, somebody, I don't know who, but they keep a registry of the names that parents are giving their newborns. They've been naming kids things like Pistol, Shooter, Magnum, Remington. This is sick. Liberals don't do this. Liberals don't name their kids Prius and Juicer.
Bill Maher in the Mystic Showroom, May 21st. Get tickets now at the Mystic box office or online at mysticlake.com.
Do you believe in ghosts? Ever wondered if aliens from other planets visit the Earth? Have you ever thought about whether Bigfoot is real? My name is Greg Bakken, and on my new show, Ghostbox Radio, we'll have these conversations about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, or just the unusual, bringing together guests who are experts in these fields. Join me every Sunday at 4 p.m. for Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken on AM 950, even if you're a skeptic.
I love my Toyota vehicles, so when I have to get service done, there's only one place I go. Rudy Luther Toyota. They know Toyotas inside and out. It starts with them checking your alignment and tire treads with the Hunter Quick Check Drive Inspection Service. Oil changes, tires, batteries, wipers, no matter what you need done, they can help you with reliable Toyota parts and the best service team in Minnesota. Check their website, rudyluthertoyota.com, for service and parts specials just for your Toyota vehicles. Get your Toyota serviced at Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Habitation presents a radio drama. To buy or not to buy, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler to compromise and live with a sectional that doth not fit my space, or to take up arms against a sea of mediocrity, and by opposing it, to rest, to be comfortable, to enjoy the space that is my home. Hi, this is Gregory Rich, owner of Habitation Design and host of Drink in the Style. I'd like to personally invite you to our new showroom located in the District at Edina, 7777 Washington Avenue South. Habitation, put some drama into your interior design.
We know you'll love your pets, so make sure to listen to the Pet Buzz. This week on the show, pet trendologist Charlotte Reed and Dr. Michael Fleck will have more celebrity pet news, global pet news, Dr. Fleck with Flex Facts, Tell Me Something Good, plus more great interviews. That's this week on the Pet Buzz, enhancing the bond between pets and their people.
Listen to the Pet Buzz every Sunday at 11 on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter and we celebrate events. We've got a terrific event coming up, the St. Paul Art Crawl. How exciting is that? 50 years in celebration. And the terrific thing is that it's being spread out into several weekends. So you get to see it on April 14th through the 16th, April 21st to the 23rd, April 28th to the 30th, and then May 5th and the 7th. To learn more and find out more specifics about all of these great things, you can go to the stpaulartcollective.org, and there is a link to the spring art crawl, which I highly recommend. We've got some terrific artists and supporters of artists, leaders of the art crawl here today. I wanted to go back and visit with you, Jill, about one more thing about your House of Art 2. There are two. There's one in Minneapolis. The House of Art 2 is in St. Paul. Not only do you have 27 artists there, there are hundreds of pieces of art, I understand, in the home that as people stay in this Airbnb can actually purchase.
That's correct.
In the living room, in the dining room, in the bedrooms, everywhere is art. So art comes to life. You can kind of see, how does it look in a house? You know, get some visualization, and then be thinking about buying that then for a friend, a family member, a celebration, a birthday, Christmas, wedding, all good things. Or it might be after a ladies' weekend that a piece gets fallen in love with and gets taken home. So what do you love about the art crawl?
You know, like I said before, I just love inviting the fine people of Minnesota into our house. And I love hosting and having some appetizers and mingling with all the people that come to check out the art. And then also with all the artists, it's really cool to get all the, artists together and just the conversations and collaborations that come up with being together and just socializing and having a great time.
And a quick question. If, let's say, it's a ladies' weekend, can an artist be booked to come and share and talk about their art?
Most definitely. Yes. I mean, they'd have to check with the artist,
Of
but
course.
of course, yes, that would be a very fun thing to do.
Terrific. Now, Jim Jacobson, you are co-owner of the Grand Hand Gallery on Grand.
That is correct.
And you love the art crawl.
I do love the art crawl. It's a great opportunity to discover new artists and also rediscover artists, because, as if you've known any artists, you know that very often their work evolves over time. And so they may find their work taking them in new directions. And so seeing what they're up to now is it's like meeting a new person sometimes.
And you're meeting new children of their art is their new babies. And speaking of art, Mary Beth Kerrigan, we'll come back and learn more about the art that you do. But tell us why you love.
I just love connecting with the supporters of art and also other artists. Really, the Artist Crawl gives me an opportunity to interact with other artists. We have over 60 artists that come to the Schmidt just the weekend we have, and it's just a lot of fun. And then also at the House of Art, I connect with other artists there as well. So it's just that's what I love about it.
It's 4 weekends of play.
Mm-hmm.
Come down and play with artists and be playful about art. Caleb Van Diemen, you are on the board of the St. Paul Art Collective, sometimes called SPAC.
That's right.
What do you love?
I just think it's so cool. I'm endlessly amazed at the depth of talent of artists that we have in the Twin Cities and St. Paul specifically. And there's something for everybody there. There's so many artists. You'll see, 12-foot sculptures of faces that you would never know is happening right in your backyard. And it's just really, 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 really neat to see how much is there.
And then very small, like little pieces of jewelry that are done with intricacy and beauty. There's
find everything there.
Photography, there's painting, there's sculpture,
music, dance.
It's a celebration for sure. Mary Beth,
Yeah.
your email is also Mary Bird.
Yes, it is.
And you have a particular fondness for birds.
Well, I worked for 30 years working with birds of prey and at the Raptor Center, and I worked as a director of the National Eagle Center for 10 years. And so I did birds. And then when I went back to my art practice, I said I'd never paint another bird or do anything with birds. And then all of a sudden I collaborate with another artist named Petra, who's like, paint me a bird so we can collaborate. And so now we have this whole series about birds and stars, and it's gorgeous. And so
Never say never.
Never say never. That's what I've learned.
So you started off studying art.
Yeah.
And that you had every intention to become an
I
artist.
went into studio arts at the University of Minnesota, but then things just happened because I love biology and I love science, and I just took a turn into a degree in animal science. And then, but I still painted. I still did more illustrative work, and but now it's fine art, and I really enjoy doing mostly figurative, but I throw it in with a kind of a surreal or supernatural kind of bent to it. So it's not just like the trope of wildlife art, because it's not duck paintings.
It's magic. It's magical.
It's magical.
There, you definitely there's a lot of imagination, and it has a little surreal, a touch of the surreal that allows you to, explore in a different way.
Absolutely.
But it does capture, I think, the essence of the birds.
Yeah, I think so.
So you're also at the Schmidt Artists with the Schmidt Artists.
Yeah, we have
you're a leader there as well.
Yeah, we have a lot of things going on at the Schmidt. We have like I said, over 60 artists that'll be there. Plus, we have the Congressional Art Show, Betty McCollum's Congressional High School Art Show. So we have a lot of award-winning high school students art that from all over Minnesota that'll be there.
I love that she does it there during the art crawl.
Yeah, it's just a great thing to see, and we'll have our own gallery. We have a landmark gallery that'll be full of art of the local Schmidt artists, plus Stephen Poling. His art will be featured there. So there's a lot of just just really unique things that
you're going to actually have some people that are doing art.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I love that.
This
I love
this year, we're actually opening up the paint studio, and so myself and Petra and a few other artists will be actually doing art. So you can come and ask us questions about our practice, how it is, what we're thinking about, what's going on here, and we really welcome that. And
I hear you're going to like put a sign on your back. Ask me
questions, because sometimes people get a little intimidated when they see somebody working on things.
There's so many artists. Sometimes people don't know if it's okay to talk to the artist. They want to be respectful. We're here to let you know to ask questions, jump in, and have fun and learn things from the artist.
I think that's really important, because there are so many people who are just starting, and they really want to find out, how do you do things? What kind of paint you use? What's the medium? Why do you do this? And I think it's very important to pass along that information. I'm very open to sharing. That's why I collaborate a lot, as I love collaborating with people and other artists.
And you also welcome people's interpretations.
Absolutely.
You want to hear how the piece of art impacted them. What did they feel? What did they see? What's their relationship? And that is such a good dialogue starter.
Oh, totally. And art is a healing thing for a lot of people. And so I've, worked in collaborations with people who are healing, people who, trying to direct them in what, how art can make a difference in their lives. So it has that impact as well.
And tell me about some of the other artists that will be there.
Well, again, we'll have Petra, Janita Lohman.
And Petra is the one that you're doing the collaboration.
Collab with, Yep. And then we have Stephen Poling. We'll have, let's see. Oh, I have to mention too, the Friedley Gallery, which is in our same district. Heather Friedley, she'll be having a show in that gallery as well. So, as well as her own art. So there's a lot of things. Oh, Keg and Case. There'll be food and drink, happening there too. Local restaurants. So
when you go into the Schmidt, it's like going into a castle.
It is. It's totally.
And I just want the audience to know you're going into a place where there's like these stone hallways.
It is a place to come and see.
It
because
in itself is a piece of art.
The-
It is an adventure just walking through the
there's
Schmidt.
only one and only Schmidt. It's like it is a work of art, and that's what people just are amazed when they walk in there because they've left a lot of the architectural elements of the brewery.
Yeah.
You have the big, the big brew barrels right as you come in the door,
They're right
just
there.
over your head.
They're
you
right
know,
there. They're right
So-
there. And there's a whole nice area where you will be able to get food and purchase some fun nummy things. But then you go back and then one area has these like cool lofts that you can. The doors open. Go on in.
Yeah,
check out the art.
There'll be a few artists that'll be up on the higher floors, the fourth floor, I think, that DC Ice and people have their actually loft open so that you can see some of the
And then there's big exhibit areas too.
Yeah, we have our own the Landmark Gallery. So we have in the Atrium Gallery. So we have galleries, we have booths, we have architecture, we have music. It's
And in every place there will be an opportunity to purchase the art as well.
Absolutely.
And we're encouraging the audience not only to come down to have fun, meet the artists, but it also come down to be looking at what piece would you like to take home.
Absolutely.
And there's the price range goes from if you wanted to buy something for $5 to $5,000.
Absolutely. There's that
there's
whole-
a price point for everyone.
Absolutely.
And there's something very special, I think, about I have a piece of every art fair that I've attended. I've wanted to make an investment so that when I look at that piece, it's not just the piece, it's the memory. It's the memory of that time. It's this year's, this is that year's.
It's also giving you an opportunity to establish a personal relationship with the artist. I have people that actually buy pieces of mine that, they pass them on to their family or so they have that
They become
relationship.
an heirloom.
Yeah, they do.
And
They do.
I have pieces that my parents gave me that were meaningful in our home when I was a child growing up with art. And it gets back to like how important it is to have children come and know that this is something that's important, that having art created by an individual who is expressing their ideas. That's cool. It's a very cool thing to have. It's a very cool thing to be able to go and stay at the House of Art and see art all around you. Very cool to go down to the Bazaar Schmidt.
Oh, it is. Yes. And again, sometimes I've given kind of personal tours again with the House of Art. Your visitors, Jill, have called and said they'd like to come and see the Schmidt when they stay there. And I've been very happy to come and bring them through the galleries and through the studios so that they can see and have a little tour and get them up on the roof and they can see downtown St. Paul. And so it's a lot of fun to connect with people who love art.
The COVID gave us all a timeout. And the timeout was to look at ourselves and what do things mean. And I think being able now to go back into community and to celebrate art is a very cool thing. It's a very cool thing to come out of the craziness of being alone and now find community. Now there's some postcards that are floating.
Well, this is a print that one of our artists made for. It's a special kind of a what would you call it? An edition?
Right, it's a limited edition kind of promotional print.
Print that actually Norm is making there on site. He'll be
so you'll get to see it being actually created.
He's giving these away too. So this is for it says Schmidt's 2023 Spring Art Crawl, and it's a picture. Woodcut
of a happy rabbit.
A happy rabbit with a little Schmidt star on its back, and so yes, that's kind of one of the fun things we do with the Schmidt artists.
So when you go down to the Schmidt, be sure to go look for the printing, and that way you'll have a very nice memento of that year and that time and that experience. So Maribeth, thank you. It's always
Yeah,
fun. Always fun to have you on and have you talk about the art and things happening at Schmidt. And we have one more segment, so stay with us. We're going to hear from Jim about the work that's being done at the Grand Hand Gallery, co-owner, and the cool things to be thinking about when you come down to the St. Paul Art Crawl. We'll be right back.
There really is no place like home. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Home Health. When you're faced with an illness or an injury, being able to stay at home and receive care is important. Our home health offers a wide range of services, including skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapies, aides, homemakers, in-home respite care, and 24/7 live-in care. We'll work closely with your primary care provider to come up with an individualized plan for you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts.
So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Hi, this is Chad from AM 950. Snap Construction is arguably the most well-reviewed roofing, siding, window, and insulation contractor in the metro. Ryan is so excited about working with AM 950 and our listeners that he wants to help us grow.
This is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. I was friends with Chad long before I started marketing with him. I was a bit skeptical of radio advertising before Chad convinced us to run ads. The advertising's been so successful, we want to help the station grow. We've absolutely loved working with the listeners of AM 950, and we all know how extremely important this radio station is to the community. To help AM 950 grow, Snap Construction will be putting up proceeds to assist the station in marketing on social media. Snap Construction encourages you to follow, engage, share, and interact on the AM 950 social media platforms. Together, we can all work to ensure AM 950 continues to thrive and grow in our communities. We stand by our work with a lifetime craftsmanship guarantee. For a free estimate or more information on our financing, call 612-333-SNAP or check us out online.
Tune in this Saturday morning right here on AM 950 for the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show from 7 to 8 a.m. We'll be discussing cool weather crops you can put in your garden, as well as garden mistakes to avoid. Our guest is author Kathy Jintz, and will answer your garden questions. That's all this Saturday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on AM 950. Tell a friend and let's grow together.
Are your remote workers putting your company at risk? Not sure what steps to take to secure your data? Hi, Mark Sommerfeld from Rymark. The Rymark team is guiding our clients through these difficult times. In fact, demand has been so high, we created an easy-to-follow guide with the 5 steps to securely work from home. It's yours free. Download our 5 steps to securely work from home now at rymarkit.com or call 651-328-8900 for a no-cost how-to discussion.
Welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter and exciting events. I'm Lori Fitz, your host, and the exciting event that's coming up is the St. Paul Art Crawl, celebrating 50 years. If not the oldest, one of the oldest, but we're kind of thinking it's the oldest art crawl, the oldest opportunity for folks to go out and be playful with other artists, have see their art, listen to music, eat good food, and we're doing it again. The art crawl starts April 14th through the 16th, also the 21st to the 23rd, the 28th to the 30th, and the first weekend in May 5th and 7th. So there's no excuse of having you say, oh, I'm busy that weekend. No. There are 4 weekends. You might want to come to all of the events and then be able to get a sense of the culture. Each district has its own kind of flavor, and that's what makes it fun. And in the past, I've not been able to go to everything. And, even if I go all 3 days, it's hard to catch everything. I think I'm going to be able to see a lot more this year with it being able to be spread out. Now, if you're looking to, hey, I want to see something on paper, or I want to see something on the internet, help me know where everything's happening and when it's happening and where it's happening, you can do that. You can go to the stpaulartcollective.org. There is a link to the Art Crawl events, and you can look up the spring event. And speaking of the St. Paul Art Collective, We have Caleb here, Caleb Van Diemen from the board. Thank you for sharing about the history and all the different places that people can go see art. One more time, what's the thing that you love about the art crawl?
I really like taking my daughters. That's a fun tradition. This last year, my daughter found a mirror that another young artist, a 14-year-old, it was her first piece. She brought it along to her dad's, booth at the Union Depot, and she had to have it. And it just was glued, all these little toys around this mirror frame.
Oh.
But that's her, she's so proud of that. And I just love that, that sort of sparked an interest in art. So that's why I keep dragging her.
It's
through
funny you
all the
should say that.
figures.
The very first art fair that my parents took me to when we lived in California, I fell in love with this piece that had little girls picking flowers, and I just loved it. And so my parents bought it, and they told me that at one point it would be my piece. Well, I was cried like a baby when I'm an adult and I get that piece. But I remember that. That's like my first art investment. And it can mean a lot to kids, and it stays with you. Mary Beth, whose birthday it is today. Happy
I know.
birthday,
Oh, thank
Mary
you.
Beth Kerrigan, whose email is Mary Bird because you love birds.
And it's also International Draw Bird Day. So,
So
just everybody out there, get if you love art, draw a bird today. But yeah, I love connecting with other artists and people who support art. So that's the best thing about Art Crawl.
And you're with the Schmidt.
I'm with the Schmidt Art, Artist Lofts on West 7th.
And Jill Asper, you have House of Art Heart 2 in St. Paul.
Yes, I just get so excited to meet all the people coming through the doors and all the artists that are there. It's just a fun time.
And the House of Art Heart, which art is emphasized in the heart, is a gallery and a place and a sleepover. You can sleep in the gallery, and has hundreds of pieces of art that you can purchase.
Yes, come out. It was a house built in 1890, so that in itself is fun to see.
And Jim Jacobson, you are co-owner of the Grand Hand Gallery, starting out your art support by having your front yard be a gallery.
Our front yard and one or two of the neighbors. So we started off with the Grand Micro Art Fair on Grand Avenue.
You launched this.
I mean, it was so much more Rachel, my wife's work than mine. I helped put the tents up and stuff like that, but and occasionally cleaned up a little bit. But yeah, so from there to owning a small gallery to then moving into the Grand Hand Gallery was happened in a pretty short frame of time, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we moved from front yard to the, I don't know, not really Main Street, it's Grand Avenue, but feels like the big time. Yeah.
And your support of those artists helps, I think, communication. It helps people come together and learn about art, community art. Do you have artists mostly from Minnesota, or is it all over?
It is all over. So many of them are, the majority, I would say it's at least 80% are regional to the Midwest, and the vast majority of those are from Minnesota. But we do have ones from other parts of the country, a few that are from outside the U.S., but mostly it's the upper Midwest.
And the conversations that occur at the Art Crawl, tell me a little bit about that.
So you didn't ask me, but I'm going to tell you anyway that one of my favorite things about the Art Crawl is the opportunity to engage with the art. So, Caleb at the top of the hour mentioned, being able to engage with art outside of a gallery or a museum setting. So it's less formal. It's less, everybody sort of sits there and strokes their imaginary beard and says, what do I think about this? How do I feel? And I mean, you yourself mentioned the time that you connected with a piece of art as a young person. And so, the Art Crawl is a great opportunity for people to engage with art. And
it's a lifelong gift.
It's a lifelong gift, and anyone can do it. You don't have to, the thing separating, people who come to the Art Crawl, one of the biggest things is just a willingness. The thing that separates them from an art critic is a willingness to engage with the art. All you have to do is to decide whether you like a thing. That's your starting point. Do I like this? Do I not like it? How do I feel? Why do I feel that way? What do I like about it?
I hope all of you are inspired today to come down to the St. Paul Art Crawl. You can learn more by going to the stpaulartcollective.org. Art is imaginary, it is spectacular, it is our work to create meaning, it is healing, it is spectacular. And there are 4 wonderful weekends that you can engage in a playful way with artists who are dedicated to supporting art in our community. And you can support them by taking a piece home. So I look forward to seeing you at the St. Paul Art Crawl. Thank you all for sharing today about the wonderful perspectives on the St. Paul Art Crawl.
No matter if you're eating out or cooking something at home, eatlocalminnesota.com has you covered with a list of locally owned restaurants and food purveyors. Locally owned Vinaigrette has been offering the finest olive oil and vinegar since 2009. Reintroduce yourself to all the many flavors by tasting before you buy. From darker white balsamic to cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil from all over the world, there is something for everyone. Vinaigrette, located at 50th and Xerxes in Minneapolis, or at vinaigrettemn.com. The Park Tavern is your go-to destination for fun. Enjoy the fantastic food like their pizzas, burgers, and sandwiches, the best bowling in Minnesota, their wildly popular outdoor patio, great drink specials, all the big games on their numerous screens, and it's the perfect place for your next private event, even large gatherings for over 200. The Park Tavern is your go-to